Hey everyone, welcome back to Legend of Mushroom with Genghis. Wanted to go over relics. Question in my Discord today. If you want to be in my Discord, see these discussions, link to do so is in the description to the video. All sorts of guides I've shown you guys about in previous videos. And basically the question is, why do I need all the relics? Do I need to level them up? If I choose a class, if I like my relics, do I ever change? What's the point in this? Is there a value for all of them? So I'm going to go over that. Just before I do, want to let you guys know for 24 hours starting at server time 200, so 2 hours. So if we look right here, this is the server time over here. So at 2 o'clock for 24 hours, Portugal, GMT plus 1 time, April 26, 24 hours, there's an extra 5% bonus. If you use the code MUSHROOM5, you can see it up above. And if you don't want to buy anything right now, like if you don't like the event, but I think there's actually a good event coming at the time of the release, it should be the Peppy event. But if you don't want to, you can buy these white gems and then just save them. And then when you like an event, buy the product you actually like with in-game currency. That way you get the extra 5% on the bonus day. That's what most gamers do. That's what I've done in all sorts of previous games using Aptoide. I buy, in other games, it's usually like whatever, gems, different colored gems. In this case, it's white diamonds. You buy them, you save them up, and then you spend as you want. It actually helps you sort out a monthly budget as well. Hey, I only want to spend $300 this month. Buy these diamonds, use them then. Let's get to the relics. So in the relics, we're going to go over all of these. And this is actually one that I've struggled with. So I'm an archer, and I recommend to everybody, you should be using combo. But the problem is I've done so poorly on all of my gear that I haven't got much crit rate. So if you look here at my crit rate on the bottom right corner, it's so low. I had to actually take away from my combo to add to crit rate. So there's going to be situations like that where you may want to do that. Now, what else do we have here? So counter, obviously that's for warrior, but there's also evasion, and evasion would be for mages. And if you are a mage, you normally would want skill crit, but you could switch to evasion depending which one you have higher. And there's no regen here for mages, but there's also crit rate and counter where you could go back and forth for your warrior. The reason why you may want a little bit of crit rate instead of really high counter, like if you got like 110% counter, you don't need that high. You could bring it down to like 80 and start putting crit on, because crit's going to amplify your counters. So those are easy. You just swap those based on the 2 skill ratings that you actually want for your class. And then, you know, if you're low on one, you're high on one, you can rotate them a little bit and help out that way. Now, if we go over here onto the PAL sets, this one gets a little bit more complicated, but you're basically just going to rotate to whichever PAL you're using or the most that you're using. So in my case, I use a dragon and a turtle almost all the time. So I use this one. And then these ones are really going to matter. Are you using these pets, right? So these ones are pretty easy, but I will say that this kite right here actually really helped me against some difficult boss trials. So it got me over that next level. I was so close. I couldn't quite get there. I couldn't quite defeat them. So I just threw this kite on. And it was one of the factors that helped me inch up. You know those bosses where you just get them down to like 10% and you've tried 10 times? And I'm talking about Dark Trials, obviously. And finally, you get it. Or in the Soul event. Those ones are tough too sometimes. And now if we go over here, very similar situation to the last one. We're looking at a bunch of PALs that do help you out in different ways. And you're basically deciding that. But this one is a little different. And it will throw PALs if you're using Snow Sprites PAL. So those two, oh, look at that. We won the Family Brawl again. We just lost our first one in a long time. We had someone accidentally sign up on the wrong line, and it's put us in a tough position for the week, but we pulled that one out. And then if you go over here onto these books, you can click through them all. These are actually really simple. You just read the instructions. So this one, at the start of the battle, increase your attack. Now, be careful. Some battles only last 5 or 6 seconds, so you might not get that full 10%. So if you're going against bosses, this one, increase damage to the bosses, I would use this on a boss where you're really getting really close to killing him at the end, and you just, you're an archer and you need to add that 20% extra, hoping you hit him with some crit over time. This one, if the boss is killing you, man, you just want to delay that battle an extra few seconds right at the end when you're down in health. And then this one, restore 10% of lost HP every 5 seconds. To be honest, I'm going to tell you the truth, I haven't found much of a use for this. This would be better on warriors or mages in an extended battle where you're obviously really trying to extend the battle and you actually have opportunities. But with archers, for me, it's lights out, me or him, really quick. And then over here on this one, this is basically if you're against a really strong boss that's kind of like one-shotting you or hitting you with one shot and getting you down to like 10% really quickly, maybe you want to put this on and it'll reduce some of their skill crit that they're hitting you with. So for necklaces, basically just read them. It comes down to your skills, which ones you're using. These ones basically increase damage by certain skills. And then the one that you might really want to consider, let's say you're using Wild Gust and Blade Pierce, you could stack that and get the double effect with it. So those ones are kind of just going to be on your strongest skills, which ones you want to use. And then the statues, this is again the same thing. This has to do with the effects of your skills. So I'm going to show you what that exactly means right here for a second. And if I go here and click on this, if you look at actually this is a terrible example. This one doesn't have one. Let's go to Worldly Snare. This has one. So this effect lasts 5 seconds at the end of it. And then you could go to other ones where the effect will last 3 seconds or 8 seconds, and it has to do with HP. So that's what that relic is dealing with. So it deals with the effect and it extends the duration. And there's some of the spells that really go together, like Nature's Renewal and Shroom Shield. So you're going to get 2 spells in one statue. So you might want to think about those ones. This is another one that people really like to use. Disarm, Dazzled, and Smoke Bomb, 50% extra. And this one they like to use because it's the most powerful effect. But if you could find a way to work these 3 skills in and get the 50% on all of them, it's very strong. So that is how relics work in the game. We're all waiting for the final relic, how we get it. We don't know. SEA doesn't even have it yet. But the other thing to keep in mind here is these skills right here, 13,168, that goes up no matter if the relic is in play or not. So you can see here I'm using this level 20. I'm going to level up this one once just so you can see. And I'm at 13,184. So it just went up, and that helps all the time. So level all your relics up, at least to level 10, and then level 20, and then level 30. Just sort of continue to level them up all equally and gain that total attack, HP, defense buff. Let me know in the comments any other questions you guys have or suggestions. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you are going to spend money on this game, spend responsibly. Use the Aptoide App Store. Get up to 35% off on all in-game purchases. Use the promo code Mushroom5. You can see me doing it in the background. And if you'd like to do so, the information how to do so is in the description to the video. Save money, put more in your pocket.